different, hoping to make the experience as demeaning as possible. First one in and around the mouth? Check. Now how about an eye? Got it. Can I get up to her nose? There it goes. By the time his balls had completely emptied of tonight's batch of semen, her face resembled some strange 1980s haute cuisine dish. A bed of meat with some special sauce crisscrossing it as if the chef had had a field day with the bottle. Night, Gerald said as he unstraddled her and rolled over into instant sleep. The next morning, Gerald sat at the breakfast table reading the Sunday papers. He was looking longingly at the holidays section. Beautiful white sandy beaches, cocktails in the swim-up pool bar, the hot sun beating rays onto his face. God, how he needed to get away. But money, that was always the problem. He reckoned if his wife would give up cake for just a couple of weeks, he'd have enough for the luxury trip of a lifetime. But firstly, he doubted she could go one day, let alone 1 week, without stuffing her face with sponge. And secondly, he wouldn't want to take her with him. How could he possibly inflict that in a bikini on the other paying holidaymakers? Why did his wife have to ruin everything, he thought. He didn't love her in the slightest, and if he was on vacation in some sunny paradise, surely he'd meet someone to have sex with. He might be in his mid-40s now, but people still mistook him for a 30-something. The flecks of gray in his hair managed to accentuate his fairly handsome features, and a few days in the sun would most likely dim those dark bags under his eyes which came from the stress of his job. Some people thought he had it easy as a teacher. You only work 6 hours a day, one of his friends had once said. If only that were true. After the kids had gone home, there was marking, planning, meetings, more marking, and he knew it took him twice as long as it did anyone else. After all, who could concentrate with the TV blaring out loud with some dull, pathetic argument between two idiots? Or the threatening tones of a car mechanic come local hard man? Think, Gerald, think. You're a smart man. Forget how you got yourself into this rut. How do you get out of it? Well, you teach, and you teach well. If people actually want to learn, you can help them. You specialize in English, both grammar and literature. And parents these days are desperate to give their kids an upper hand these days. Well, the good parents, anyway. So why not offer some one-to-one classes in English? At the going rate, you'd only need to do 2 classes a week and you could afford a holiday by the summer. A couple of hours, time invested, would offer sweet returns in next to no time. But where to hold the classes? No one would be able to study at the house with the incessant nightly racket from the soaps. And anyway, a couple of hours might not sound much, but you've hardly got time for all the marking and planning you do already. If only that stupid bitch wasn't in my life. Something in Gerald seemed to snap into focus. As human beings, we accept the status quo. We don't want to step outside of the boundaries we are within, no matter how unhappy we are. Well, Gerald had had enough. It was almost as if he'd hit an all-time low without anything changing, and he had to find a way out. I'm going to tell her, he thought. So sure of himself, he thought he may have even vocalized it. He heard the thump, thump, thump of his wife coming down the stairs. It sounded even heavier than usual. Surely she can't have put on even more weight, he thought. He looked up as she came to the kitchen door. In her hand, she held a suitcase. Gerald, I'm leaving, she said. What? I'm leaving. Unless you promise to stop demeaning me, I'm off. You know I hate it. She screamed the word hate, and all Gerald could think of was a squealing pig. When you do things like that, I love you, I love your cock, but you make me feel like I've done something wrong, something bad, and I don't think sex should be like that. Gerald looked at her, mouth agape. Well, aren't you going to say anything? Tell me you love me and say you're sorry and everything will be okay? No, said Gerald. What? Now it was her turn. If you want to leave, leave. She couldn't believe it. She thought he'd say sorry, promise that sex would be loving again and everything would be okay. Like a bad poker player, she'd made the mistake of bluffing when she wasn't sure what hand her opponent was holding. I'm not pretending, she said, diving further into the chasm she'd made for herself. Say sorry now or I'm going. The door's there, he said. And she left. £4 a week. You can pay up to 5 weeks in advance, but then if you want to renew it, you'll have to come back in and tell me. I had an advert for a set of golf clubs.